Good morning, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. Today I'm out here in the rain. We finally got a rain, and we got not quite an inch. I think it was like 3/4, something like that. Anyway, it's the first rain we've had since the 1st of August, just 4 months. And it was so dry. I trenched some water lines here a couple weeks ago. It's 24 inches down. It was talcum powder all the way down. So there's just no subsoil, no top moisture, no moisture, no moisture. We got 2-inch snow here. I guess it was about 7-8 days ago. Anyway, I wanted to show you what I did this morning. I came over here and the bulls were on. I had a lane here going back to water all the way, and I was back fencing them. I was keeping them off what they've already grazed. And anytime you tighten animals down and you got an area like this, you got a little draw where they come up and they get out of the wind and such. They've got cedars over here on this other piece that they're on, but for some reason they came over here, and you can see what they did. They mucked it up. And it's not deep, it's maybe 1/2 inch deep. But if I leave that and come back tomorrow and we keep getting rain, then it'll be 1 inch deep, 2 inches deep, 3 inches. Then you take the sod out. You've ruined the root structure of your grass. So anytime I see something like this is what I do. And I have to apologize, the rain's getting on the camera, but you know what? This is real life. I don't have an umbrella, so I'm getting wet right along with the camera. It doesn't have to be hot. Our cattle are trained so well. I just tied on right here at the pigtail and went around this area, came back, tied it back on the pigtail, and just laid the reel on the ground. There's no power in that wire, but those cattle, the bulls, they're not going to mess with it. And they think it's hot, okay? I touched it this morning accidentally. I put in my weekend paddocks over here in the rain, and when I was wrapping it, one of those reels has a little insulation missing on the handle, and it wasn't bad. I mean, it was just a tickle. I've had them 50 times harder than that. But you can see we got some really nice stockpile. The bulls are coming down this way. We're strip grazing it. We cut this big ridge in two with a poly, and then we went perpendicular. I'll show you. We went perpendicular to this wire because I ran another wire longitudinally down that valley over there, and it's hot. This one's hot, but we just put in a pigtail here, tie on cold. Now that's cold until I make it hot down there. Okay, so when I roll up tomorrow's grass, that wire will come to right here, and because that's hot, I can take this reel coming from this direction and just wrap it on that pigtail there and set it there, and now I've got this paddock exposed to them, and it's hot. They can't get to that one. That'll be Sunday, Saturday, Sunday. I like to get all of our paddocks put in on Friday so we don't have to do anything but roll up a wire. And the bulls only move once a day, the cows will move twice a day. But we just got, 26 bulls over here, and we're giving them a fairly good sized paddock. And yeah, they're doing well. Somebody asked me the other day, do you need a lick tub when it gets to winter time? In other words, you got grass that's dried up, it's brown. Do you need a lick tub for the cows to be able to, digest that grass and keep from losing weight? That's a great question, and I'm going to answer it like this. Unless you have fescue or some kind of cereal, some kind of rye, some kind of green. I know Marshall ryegrass is a really big staple in the South. A lot of farmers down there, you have to drill it in the early fall, but Marshall ryegrass will stay green and you don't have to supplement with a lick tub or grain or, breeder cubes or any of that stuff. But this fellow that wrote me yesterday was from Georgia, and he said all of his grass was brown. He didn't tell me what kind of grass it was, but I told him if it's Bermuda or Bahia and there's no green in it, and you try and go through the winter on that, you need to watch the condition on your cows. There was a fellow in Texas that was doing it several years ago, and he had cows that were just dying. I mean, I think he had lost 17 cows, and it looked to me like there was about another 25 that were getting ready to fall over. You know, that's just not keeping your eye on animal performance. Folks, when your cows are thin and there's ribs showing, you need to do something about it. They're not going to magically get fat, especially in the wintertime when all your grass is brown. So you may have to bring in a lick tub, or, you know, you got to get something in there to help them get some protein, to help them break, and there's some energy in that tub as well, to help them break down that old brown grass, because they can eat it and they fill up, but every year you hear about people, you know, the cow fell over and died, and his gut was completely packed full of brown grass. There wasn't anything in it. It's like feeding them straw. Okay, so just because it's forage doesn't mean it's forage. There's good forage and there's bad forage. Folks, this has got a lot of what we call foxtail in it. But if you look down in the bottom, I mean, there's all kinds of fescue in here. There's green. Heck, there's even some green clover in here. Okay? If you're fortunate enough to have some green clover in December, you're a pretty happy camper in this part of the world. But this has got a lot of that little, what I call small foxtail. And if you got a lot of this little bitty foxtail, that's called the early succession plant. I used to have it on another farm, and within about 3 to 4 years, with good grazing management, I got rid of it. The better grasses came in and just kicked it out. So when you see this little bitty foxtail like this is not giant foxtail. This is just plain old foxtail, the little guy. He gets about 6-8 inches tall, and they don't eat it. They will, but there's not much in it. But folks, this fescue, this is Kentucky 31, in to fight infected fescue, the stuff that everybody's telling us we need to kill. And I'm like, you idiots, it's the only thing keeping us going on the farm. It's the only thing keeping us going on the farm in the wintertime. The people sitting behind these desks are telling us we need to spray it and kill it. They're not having to make a living on the land. They're making their living from selling you stuff that we don't need. And it will take you off your farm. So, you know, unless you want to be taken off your farm by spending money needlessly killing stuff, stop it. Just stop. Make a decision today to get up and say, I'm not going to kill anything anymore. I'm not going to spray anymore. Okay? There is some herbicide that we use. It's crossbow, and it's for these guys right here. We don't spray it, we paint it. These autumn olives. This is another taboo that our wonderful, I won't get into that. I'll just say this, they brought it in for wildlife cover. Guess what? It spread. It spread like crazy, and now it's taking over the whole state of Missouri. It's taking over the whole Midwest. It's called autumn olive. It's a bad one. The boys and I really went after it on this farm last year, and we've got control of it back now, but we painted those stumps with 1 quart of crossbow mixed with 5 gallons of red diesel. And it did it. I mean, it absolutely nailed them. This one escaped us, but it won't for long. Looks like a good winter project to come here and nail the ones we didn't get. And because they'll put seed down, they'll have, 5 to 10,000 seeds on there, and those birds love them in the fall, and then they eat them and they poop them out all over your farm. And when a seed goes through a bird, it will come up. It will come up. It's just a wonderful, birds are real good about planting trees, especially the invasives, the ones we don't want. They eat, and you can't blame the bird. I mean, you got a beautiful, succulent, juicy red berry on there. They're going to eat that. They're going to eat that. I love birds. I'm not blaming the birds. But you do have to keep control of these. Once they get to a problematic level where they just cover your whole farm, or this whole ridge is covered in them, it's going to take you probably 5 to 7 years to stay on top of them things, to finally get rid of them, because they will come back. You can cut them, you can paint them, and they come back. You can cut them, and you can paint them, and they come back. when they get big like that, and numerous, it's just hard to get them all. Goats certainly help. Our hair sheep and our goat flock, they're working on them. But we've got too many acres and we don't have enough goats and sheep, and we don't have enough fencing to keep them in, you know, especially the goats. You gotta make sure you don't push goats very hard. They will figure out a way to move themselves, and then you got a wreck. Folks, I'm gonna get out here. It's raining, I'm cold, and I'm gonna go get dry. And everyone have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time. Hit that subscribe button on the way out. And, oh, we got a new email list. It's going to be on the description section of this video. You ought to be hitting that. And also, coming up soon, there's going to be a, believe it or not, I'm going to do a live stream. First one ever. And it's going to be with Justin Rhodes. And on his Abundance Plus package. And I'm going to have a description on there. Under the description, you can just click on the link and sign up for it. And it's going to be on the 16th from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern time. It's 2 hours, and it's going to be question and answers. After the preview viewing of the movie, they actually did a movie on our farm. It's going to be good. There's going to be a lot of good information in there. So check that out. We'll see you next time.